international program, international live conference. Today is 20th June. Now, Dhaka, Bangladesh time is 9 past 6 minutes. We are all on the international live conference, live program. We have our international guests with us, and we have many flags together, multinational cultures, multinational international guests. So we have Mr. Jared from America. He has joined us on this international program. Mr. Dudik from Europe, Ms. Karishma from India, and Molay Kumar Ghoshal from India, and Saeed, my dearest international friend from Morocco. And this is your international host, Monira Sultana. I have joined from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Thanks all of you for joining this program. So we gonna start our program, that is the elaborate discussion on the corruption in public sector, abuse of power, political corruption that is a barrier to SDG, peace and development. We wanna also discuss the point roadmap to solutions and guidance, how to gain people's trust in the system. We will have in-depth discussion on the manifestations, causes, suggested remedies for all sorts of corruptions in public sector. So I want to connect first Mr. Jarod, and I will request to have our introductory session. Can we please listen from Mr. Jarod? Can you please introductory part for introduction section? Can you please introduce yourself, Mr. Jarod from America?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Jared Crockett from United States of America. I am the first vice president and the chief for international security for United Forces International. I've currently been working in the law enforcement sector now for 30 years between military and civilian, and just recently retired as a federal law enforcement officer for 20 years. So, got plenty of experience, and I'm happy to be here with everybody and ready to share some knowledge with everyone.
Okay, great to know you. Now I would like to connect my international guest, international speaker, Mr. George Dudik, who is really involved in many social activities. We're gonna hear from his own voice. So, Mr. Dudik, can we please all listen from your introductory section? Can you please introduce yourself, Mr. Dudik? From Europe, Serbia.
Ja sam rođen sam u Jugoslaviji.
He is born in Yugoslavia.
To je bivša zemlja, danas Srbija.
Today Serbia.
Inače sam borac za ljudska prava.
He is a fighter for human rights.
Yeah.
Predstavnik sam Ujedinjene Jugoslavije.
He is for United Yugoslavia.
Koja je na svih 6 bivših republika jugoslovenskih, odnosno današnjih država.
It's with all 6 republics of former Yugoslavia.
To su Crna Gora, Kroacija, Montenegro, Croatian, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Macedonia, and Slovenia, and Srbija. Ja sam poručnik Templar.
He is a Templar.
Kako bi mogao da sudjelujem u nekom radu, da pomognem više ljudima.
And he wants to help the people.
Great. Great to hear from.
Danas vidim mnogo problema.
He can see a lot of problems today.
Ne samo u Jugoslaviji.
Not only in Yugoslavia.
Vidim ih u celoj Evropi.
It's in whole Europe.
A koliko sam uspeo da primetim, to postoji u celom svetu.
And in the whole world.
Problem je u zloupotrebi položaja. Who have power have many people who have power, and that with this power do it a really bad job. I volao bi da nekako stanemo na tome.
Okay.
And I load to the stop in this way from the any people who make a bad thing with the power. These people like policemen, like soldier, like religion leader. These people, it's many people who think bad thing with power. Every leader have power. Uh, uh, or presidents from the country and any people who have power. This power make a really good thing, or this leader must go to jail.
Okay, thanks. So, thanks a lot, Mr. Dudik, who has currently joined from Serbia. He is a great social activist, a humanitarian worker, and we know that he has got great titles and honorary titles. He has got a lot of international friends with him. And Mr. Dudik, I really would like to thank you so much for helping me to organize international programs. Thanks, our dearest friend Dudik. So, after America, after Europe, now would like to listen from dearest international model, our dearest international sister, Miss Karishma. She has joined us from India. She has many great contributions. She has many great qualities. She is a great leader, a public speaker, and I don't know what words should be suited for her. So let's welcome her and let's listen from her. Miss, actually, Dr. Karishma Moni, can we hear from you your introductory part? Please introduce yourself, my dearest sister, international leader and speaker, Dr. Karishma Moni. Welcoming you. How are you today?
Hi, dear Monira, and lots of love to you from India as well as from my side and my family's side. And thank you for inviting me today to this international conference. It's lovely to meet all the lovely people and speakers present over here. And today we are going to discuss a very nice topic and very important topic actually, and which is only being talked about but never been discussed like this. So it would be a great pleasure to have the views of various speakers on this topic. I'm Dr. Karishma Mani from India, working as an anchor from last 12 years, and I'm also an actress working in films. You can all Google me as actress Karishma Mani. As well as I have got 15 world records from all the countries for my two different colors of eyes, 500 plus awards, and 18 doctorates from international countries. For all my achievements, I'm also a generalist. And basically, today's topic we are mostly writing in all the papers and showing it in the news channels. But it would be great to discuss today with all of you. And I'm also a model doing modeling shows, ramp walks, and everything. And my greetings to each one of you. And tonight we are going to make this topic on the international level. Tonight we are going to raise our voice against this topic. And tonight we are going to make this channel into a lot of international level. So good wishes to all of you, and let's rock the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Karishma Muni. It's good to hear from you. And as we can see, we have international another leader, my dearest and very close to my heart. And all of you have heard many times on this international platform welcoming our honorable lecturer at Calcutta University, our dearest Maloy Kumar Ghoshal from India. Can we all hear from you, please? How are you today? Maloy Kumar Ghoshal from India.
First of all, I would like to say namaste in Sanskrit. If I'm not wrong, the expression namaste is derived from namo haste, which means greetings from heart. And indeed, I extend my most cordial, warmest, and no doubt respectful and sincere greetings to all of you. Well, I am a public servant. That is my identity. I endeavor to render my service in public interests. Initially, in Europe, I was a student of international law, both international public as well as private laws. But my main aim is to discourage illegal human trafficking and indeed illegal slavery. No doubt both of them are illegal, I believe, befitting the legal systems of most of the countries of our civilized world. I crave leave first to listen to all of you before expressing myself, and I shall be grateful to hear from you first. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So I want to here convey one of our international leader, Ms. Hayat from Tunisia. She has sent us a great message on this international platform that my very best wishes, honorable members, who are dealing with the basic issues building governments and consequently the whole world. She has sent us this message from Tunisia. So I am really very much delighted to hear our dearest international leader and the speaker, Ms. Hayat from Tunisia. And now I would like to have one of our guests and my dearest friend, Mr. Said from Morocco. Can you please introduce yourself, Mr. Said from Morocco? How are you today?
Fine, I'm fine. Yes. All thank and the price compete with the most precious expression of respect and appreciation for Sister Monia for this awesome and greeting to all those present. Happy to be with you.
Thank you. You want to add anything, Said?
What's this?
Do you want to add anything? Do you want to speak more?
Uh, I don't understand.
Okay, no problem. Okay, thanks. So as you can see on this international global issue that is corruption, and I don't know how to be thankful to all of you to come over here and to be very much courageous and bold enough to speak on this very critical issue. I should say that you are all very much bold, very much courageous. You are really holding great power inside of you. First of all, I would like to connect our dearest international, very important person who worked in military section. He is at present the chief of an international NGO in America and is dealing with group of administrative people. So would like to listen from Mr. Jarod. I am going to connect you for the question and answer session, the second session of our program. Mr. Jarod, I have question number one, that is, what is the present scenario of the consequences of corruption? And four, governance, cross-country research, links between political and economic power. We know that you are holding a great position. You have marvelous experience. and still you are connected worldwide with administrative people, with military people. So how you'd like to explain this point of view? I want to request you to shed light on the consequence of corruption and poor governance. Cross-country research links between political and economic power. Mr. Jarrell.
Okay, from what you guys have probably seen and watched the news, we've been having a lot of issues here in the United States involving political corruption also, just the same as everybody else around the world. We've had, like with the election that we had last year, where they said there's a possibility that it was a rigged election to people that's clearly violating laws with no retributions whatsoever. And this is becoming a problem now with literally all countries where we see people that's, violating human rights and
Yes.
nothing happens now. And that's what it's becoming. It's a political factor now where anybody with money has no retribution for their own actions. And I mean, everybody should have to take consequences if they're violating laws, violating rights, causing genocides nearly, and there should be some form of action against them. The links with political corruption, we see this everywhere. I mean, in all countries, all the corporations now, and it's more money talks.
Yes.
Yeah, if a poor person does something, they go to prison for long periods of time. If a rich person does something, nothing happens to them.
Right.
So this is where we see a lot of the corruption now. Is it's everything has to deal with money now.
True. Very true. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for shedding light on this and to have your great explanation, Mr. Jarrod, because this is the person who belongs to the most experienced background, Mr. Jarrod, because he is currently also involved in many sections with administrative people and is still working in international NGO as the chair. So I would like to listen from my dearest international guest, Mr. Dudi, for the questions same as I have asked to Mr. Jarrod. What is the present scenario of the consequence of corruption, poor governance, cross-country research links between political and economical power? What is your point of view, Mr. Dudi, from Europe, Serbia?
Uh, it's very have corruption in Europe. First, have corruption in the court, and have corruption in administration, in police, in everywhere. Every people love the money, but people who have the power don't. Many people don't have a consequence for the bad job for the corruption. Just take some if some normal and good police arrest one criminal man, and that criminal go to jail or the court, and lawyer and judge, судья, and the judge just go the freedom, release him, and this is a big problem. First, if you have men who kill somebody, and not one people, kill more people, and to police, arrest him, and go to court, and judge just give, give me give the freedom and release him. This is a really problem, and people have uh, afraid, have afraid, and
True.
yes, and when policemen if who have power, who's not good police, have everywhere have good people, bad people, like the well, have everywhere have good and bad people. That's similar in the court, on the police, on everywhere. First, everywhere I my apologize. I apologize for my English. My English is not good. I'm sorry. Uh, and
But we
I'm
can understand you very
yeah,
clearly.
and that is a great problem, not just from Serbia. Now that's problem in Germany, and that's problem in Austria. Before 2 or 5 years, if you take the policeman, take the money in Austria or the Germany, you have a really problem. You go to rest. Now, if you take the money in Germany, in Austria, now that's okay. You can go. Now, this is a big problem. Not just the Balkan. Balkan every time have the problem, but some country like Germany or Denmark or another. That's before to be really good, not 100%, but good. Now that's it's problem everywhere, uh, and must have any any people who have a job must to have a consequence for this bad job, and I think that's in my mind. I think from the United country, every country in the world need some organization who can uh, see in every country, and this consequences for this job must go to the church for religion is not bad. Religion is good, but some leader uh, have a problem. Some leader take the fanatism in the people and make the angry some people for another faith, and this is a war here, and some leader people like presidents, like diplomatic men talk bad for another people, uh, for another color or nationality or the never mind. Just talk bad thing, and these people hate another people, and we have a problem. And this is must somebody to see everywhere. Have some people who go there and created there and see what somebody do. If you go like a uniform, go to I see what you talk, and another people who talk bad in this moment can talk good, but must have some organization who can go in and like usual man influence and the recording who do bad thing, this must have consequences. I think.
Okay.
I think my
Yeah, yeah.
English is not good, but I think I talk. You understand me?
Yeah, we
Yes.
understand. And Mr. Jared has sent a great encouraging message for you, Mr. Dudek. Can you please check the chat box? He is giving you thumbs up and great, great encouragement for your language. He said that your English is much better than Mr. Jared's English. Am I right, Mr. Jared?
Yes, you are. When I first got the notice for the meeting, I was trying to set my clock to make sure that I matched the times, and it's let's see, it is now 10:30 here, and I've been awake since 4 o'clock this morning after going to bed at 1. So my English right now is probably going to be very horrible.
Okay, okay. Thanks a lot for your great, great explanation and sharing your feeling and present conditions. Okay, so I would like to connect my dearest international speaker and leader, Dr. Karishma Moni, for her explanation on the question number one, that is Mr. and Dr. Karishma Moni, I want to ask you what is the present scenario of the consequences of corruption and poor governance, cross-country research, links between political and economical power. As we have all heard from America and Europe, so now I would like to listen India's present condition. How do you like to explain, Dr. Karishma Moni from India?
Her
Karishma,
mic's on
your
mute.
microphone is off.
Me?
Yeah,
Yes,
now.
Yes.
Monira?
let's go.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. Thank you, Monira, for giving me a chance to explain this topic, and each one of you for listening to me for for some of while. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Monira, if I may ask, what makes your country's name bad? What you will say, or what others will say? Some will say child labor, some will say illiteracy, some will say violence. But I say a thing that makes my country's name bad is corruption. It is more dangerous than coronavirus nowadays because it's spreading and growing very fast. It's it's also it's also making people viral. It's also growing very fast. So I think it's more dangerous than coronavirus corruption. Okay, if I may put this word corruption into a quote, I can say corruption is a disease and transparency is its treatment. Okay, so
Right.
but we would I would just like to analyze where did the corruption came from. Where did the corruption came from? We have been talking about there is a corruption, there is a corruption, there is a corruption, but how did the corruption came into existence? It came into existence because of us, because of a person, human behavior, because of an individual. And why
Right.
it came? Because we do not have patience, no patience for work. you know uh, the government officers or the people who are on the higher post, and those who are corrupt, those who are doing this type of activities, we easily blame them, but we are only one who are promoting them to do. Okay, like if you see nowadays, there is a trend that if you want to take admission in school, you have to pay lots of fees, lots of donation, and then you can get an admission in school. So why they are doing it? Because we are encouraging them to do. Because those parents whose children are not getting admission in a particular good hi-fi school, they are promoting corruption. They are giving extra money to them to get admission in schools, and then they are promoting corruption in this way. This is one example of corruption. Like this, there are many. So I think the individual is the main factor for increasing the promotion. We are solely responsible for increasing this corruption. I feel so.
True. True. Okay, Dr. Karishma Moni, it was really, really great to hear from you. I hope Mr. Jarod from America and Mr. Dudi from Europe can understand how power girl Dr. Karishma Moni is. I have been talking to a lady, she was from Romania, and when I have shared that our program is on the corruption and government political abusement of power, she was very shaky and she was not very confident to come on this live program. But I congratulate and applaud and great honor. I am conveying my regards to Dr. Karishma Mani for her great encouragement and courageous bold voice. Dr. Karishma Moni, I am really proud of you. Thanks for your voice. And now I would like to connect our dearest international lecturer at Calcutta University. He has raised his voice many times and he has joined our international program also many times. Maloy Kumar Kaushal of Sundarbans from India. I would like to ask you the same question, that what is the present scenario of the consequences of corruption and poor governance? Cross-country research links between political and economical power. How you would like to view this question and how you would like to explain this? Maloy Kumar Ghoshal.
Before I try to elaborate the situation, I crave leave to go back to history for a single moment. If I'm not wrong, the noun corruption does not merely and necessarily involve bribery. It's a far, it's a word which has much wider significance, much wider meaning. Even in the very first book of the Holy Bible or the Torah, we see before the sin flood came to sweep away the humanity and all the other creatures, with the exception of the family of Noah, it is said the earth was corrupted and violent. So what Dr. Karisma Moni just expressed about other things, child labor, human trafficking, oppression, all these things can be included into that word, and I should say many other types of wrong can be included in that particular expression, corruption. In the second book of the Holy Bible, Exodus, we also see when God Almighty gives his commandments to Moses, he says that you shall not accept a bribe because bribe blinds a judge. He talks about fairness and justice, that we should not distinguish between the poor and the rich when we are sitting as judges or just judgesses. Indeed, in certain countries, the judges have to take an oath that they will pronounce a judgment without fear or favor, ill will, or affection. That is the custom in the United Kingdom. That is the custom in our country, India. And this is most certainly, I believe, if I'm not wrong, I crave leave to be corrected. Mr. Gerard will agree with me, the system in the United States of America, because great judges, justices, including Chief Justice Holmes and Justice Cardozo, whose principles I honor from the very core of my heart, were definitely distinguished justices of the United States of America, facing the benches in the Supreme Court. But you see, in our country, we have certain possibilities. As I mentioned once before, our system rests on three pillars, like a tripod or a three-legged stool. One is known as the legislative organ, which passes the law. This is found as the Parliament of the Republic of India as a whole, and the legislative bodies found in every single state of India, provided the so-called governor's rule, or as is the presidency rule, is not passed in order to abolish those legislative assemblies. But in no country the legislation can be applied unless this is adopted and practiced by the another organ known as the administrative body, which includes, of course, the civil service in certain countries. In our country, we call it public service or administrative service, which include the police forces, the defense forces, and. And of course, the most important of all, I believe in my view, is the judiciary, which requires to be absolutely, we call it in British English, disinterested, but some people misunderstand the expression, but that means impartial, not uninterested, impartial. If any of these three organs of a state is not properly balanced, like the tripod stool, it is endangered to fall. And if it is a wooden stool, it will break. And I said earlier also, on another occasion, the stool requires to stand on a smooth floor. And the floor has to be the people of that country who should not allow themselves to be corrupted. That is not necessarily accepting bribe. Corruption also is encouraged by many people fearing to lose their jobs if they report the matters, the crimes which are being committed against their colleagues, for example, against their fellow countrymen and women. They're afraid of certain groups. My apologies to Mr. Jarrett, but not long ago I was listening to the BBC World Service, and I heard about a sect or a cult in the United States which abducted, as they call it, kidnapped, or I should say misled ladies, and led them to a very hidden place, and they were being in a place which is worse, that is characterized in that notorious book called The Story of Oak. That is a sort of corruption too. But you see, we have, for example, here, Central Bureau of Investigation, called CBI, which circulated by cell phones only about a year and a half ago to various individuals that they should report such incidences to the CBI authorities if public servants demanded money of them, which is bribery, of course. But you see, too many people are afraid to open their mouths. This happens even in the most developed and industrialized countries of the world. This happens in our country too. During my stay in Germany, I discovered they have a wonderful system. If I, for example, wanted to file a case per counsel, of course, I'm talking about first by an advocate, what you call attorneys at law in the United States, Mr. Jarrett. They don't usually accept cash money. The money is paid into their account, they transfer it to the court, and also the compensation which is paid to the complainants are then returned in a very similar manner, first to the lawyer and then to the account of the complainant, the demandant or the plaintiff, of course. You see, this controls very strongly and indeed reduces the chances of corruption, bribery in a sense, or even corruption, which of course may appear, or I should say, even it may be encouraged by people's taking cash money. But again, you see, in our country, are totally ignorant of their fundamental rights. In the United States, Mr. Gerald, correct me if I'm not wrong, you have so-called Bill of Rights. And indeed, the Declaration of Independence very clearly made it clear, and I believe Ms. Munira Sultana Poppy
Yes.
will disagree with me. It says all men are equal before God, because she will say, why not women? But of course, in those days, women did not have a great voice. In certain
True,
countries,
true,
my
true.
surname Bhushan is derived from legend, according to certain legends, a lady named Ghosha who lived in the Vedic period, thousands of years ago. And of course, in those days, women had a say in our country. But we had an Islamic rule which was imposed by the Mughal emperor, initially Akbar, and then, of course, his descendants, which destroyed that system and divided our population between men and women. But well, that is a second issue. But corruption, as far as bribery is concerned, I believe that anyone who pays is equally to be blamed as anyone who accepts the bribe, because unless we pay the bribe, nobody can accept the bribe. But as Miss, I beg your pardon, Dr. Mani, or Charisma Mani pointed out, we always want shortcuts and paying
Right.
money. We want to have our work done far more readily, far more without much difficulties, and we want the favor only for ourselves. And that is definitely the very root of the corruption in our country, at least. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. I would like to connect one of my greatest international friend, Mr. Nasser. He is from Egypt. He is a journalist in Egypt. Mr. Nasser, can you hear me, please? Nasser, can you hear me? I can see he has joined and he has sent photo in our chat box. Nasser, can you please hear me? I don't know. Uh,
Something.
Right. You want to say, you want to please talk on the explanation for the question number 1, that is, what is the present scenario of the consequences of corruption and poor governance? Cross-country research links between political and economical power. Said from Morocco.
Okay. Okay. At the first, it seems to me that the issue of corruption with its different definition. I consider it a lie. Yes, corruption is a lie. And therefore, I see the opposite issue here, where we must speak about the impact of reverse lies on corruption. Corruption has become the lie, and the lie has become corruption. So, if I return to your question, I think that administrative corruption has become rampant in facility, in justice, in health, in education, in the economy, in international relations, within the family, encouraged by corrupt regime, especially in poor countries, in the path of growth and the poor country, which led to the deterioration of conditions and the emergence of armed movements that are also corrupt. Corrupt regime receives support from the United Nations among the countries considering this system under the pretext of establishing development projects that will not see the light of day.
Okay. Okay.
Corruption of the administration and I mean here the regime also manifests itself in the reduction of the aid directly from the United Nations or from friendly country under the pretext of establishing development project for the poor, directing them to another path. The corruption of the regime has a record that is manifested in persecution, starvation, and intimidation of its citizens, which led to the emergence of armed movement and group either because they are not satisfied with the situation or it does not take its share of the process of corruption. So conditions deteriorate and the crime increases without accountability because the judiciary is corrupt and the moral is lacking because education is corrupt. Disease effort because hate is corrupt, and the economic collapse because its foundation is corrupt. Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks. Thanks, our dearest international speaker. He is director at the Minister of Education. Mr. Sahid has explained his view from Morocco. Nasir, can you please listen to me now? Nasir, dearest journalist from Egypt, we can see you. Can you see me and can you please listen to my voice? Nasir?
Yes. Hello.
Okay.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, Nasir. I want to ask you
Yes.
the question number one.
I
What
am
is the
pleased
present
to meet
scenario?
you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, as
Thank you so much.
a free
So can
corporation
I
as
ask you the question number one, or you want to say something? You can say, please. Nasir, can you please tell about
yes.
yourself?
Yes. Okay. Well, welcome all my friends. Administrative corporation as a the functional behavior that is provides official regulation and laws and functional ethics and social values and order are personal interest more for the between hello. Which included preparatory and extension the word cooperation and the French language damage, sabotage, cooperation of morals, customers, and behavior, bravery of and employee as it is known also.
Okay. I think there is Nasir. You want to add something?
Uh, Everything that's okay. For,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes. Yes. Okay, thank you. Thanks for your view. Our dearest international journalist from Egypt, Mr. Nasser, has explained his view and introductory part. So now would like to
Yes.
connect our dearest
Thank,
leader from America, Mr.
thank you.
Charo, for the question number two, corruption and international development cooperation. What is the current view on that? Why we have failed again and again to stop corruption? What is your view, international leader and international speaker, our dearest guest, Mr. Jarrod from America?
Okay, my view on how to stop the corruption, as I just said in the chat room, is we all claim to be democratic societies. And if we have a person that is rather running the country poorly or we can see is plainly corrupt, why do we keep voting him into office? I mean, same thing with what we have with some of our senators here is we have people that's been in office 40, 40 plus years that everybody knows is corrupt, but yet they still vote them back in. If you as the people know that you have a political party or a person that you are voting into authority for your country, you also have the authority to vote them out.
Right.
And that is one thing that a lot of countries don't see is you do have the power to get rid of these corrupt people.
So, can I connect our dearest international guest, our bosom friend, Mr. Georgia Dudik, for the question number 2. Dudik, can you please tell us corruption and international development cooperation? What is the current view on that? Why we have failed again and again to stop corruption? What is your point of view, our dearest leader, Mr. Georgia Dudik?
For the win corruption, we must, I think, we must have connection many countries, not just one country. If we have on the head, if we have in head country corruption, we have a problem. Uh, we must have contact in many countries, like international army or international police or some police who have some police who have every country authorities. We must have many country contact, and when have some police who had head or on the world, we can making a better thing. Like Brussels in Europe, but like United Nation. But we must have some people who have police on the all the world, and like who, uh, like choose in every country police like choose like the way, and this will on the world, I believe. Or one have power that not good. Okay, one country, every country, uh, uh,
Some kind of it's a
I'm not
call
sure
for the mosque.
you understand me.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Dudik, for your kind view. So, Karishma Moni from India, our dearest international leader and speaker, I want to ask you the question number 2, corruption and international development cooperation. What is the current view on that? Why we have failed again and again to stop it? Question number 2, Karishma Moni, your microphone is off.
One second.
Nasir, can you please put your microphone off because we are getting noise from your side, Nasir?
Hello?
Nasir, we are getting a noise from your side. Can you please put your microphone off?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Karishma, yeah, tell
Okay.
us about
Camera.
answer question number 2.
Monira, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go on.
No, we cannot hear you now.
Karishma, your microphone is off.
You just spoke and then.
Karishma, your microphone is still off. Yeah.
Monira, can you hear now?
Yeah. We can hear. Please go on.
I don't know, it's automatically getting, off. I think due to some network problem, there is an issue because we have a rainy season over here. So maybe, okay. Monira, your question, why we are failing to stop corruption, I have the best answer for it. That we peoples are not fighters. We peoples are not fighters to fight back. We are seeing that corruption is going on and we are tolerating it. We don't have a, fighting will to fight against corruption. When there are some processions, there are always processions like stop rape, stop crimes, but there is no procession which can say stop corruption. We see very less quotes, very less awareness regarding corruption. Okay, peoples are charging like a delivery boy comes to give you a delivery and he charges more than the market rate, or he charges something extra to give you the delivery at home, and we are paying. So we are not fighters, we are tolerable people who are tolerating corruption. That's the first reason we are being failing to stop corruption. Secondly, there is lack of awareness. Okay, like if you see in hotels, if you go, okay, so they are selling the water, the bottles of the water in more than MRP, but we are still tolerating, maybe due to tax, or because we do not have a education, we do not have a awareness to fight back. So mainly the reason is we are not fighters. We are tolerable people who are tolerating all this means corruption things, and we are seeing that all those corruption is happening in front of us, but because of lack of knowledge, because of lack of awareness, because of this behavior, that we cannot fight back. This is why the corruption is getting increased and we are being continuously failing. Secondly, nowadays social media is so powerful enough that we can have lots of educational things, lots of laws, lots of things to learn from it, lots of things against corruptions to share from it, but we are not sharing because the government policies are nowadays like, if you speak anything against the government or anything regarding the state or something, then they will automatically be blocked, your profiles and all. So these are the things that are we are failing to stop corruption. And thirdly, in schools, there are lots of chapters for moral science and everything, but there is no chapter for corruption. This should be included in curriculum so that a future generation would learn to fight back. From the childhood, we are seeing corruption, but we are not raising the voice because we think we are single, what we can do being a single. But I think the coming generation should get so much educated, but despite being single, they can fight back against corruption. So I think fighting back against corruption is more important. And firstly, we should fight with ourselves. We should fight with ourselves, not to promote it. We are the main reasons to promote it. So firstly, we have to be patient. We have to be, collecting the strength not to promote corruption rather than blaming others for corruption. So firstly, we have to be strong enough and we should stop ourselves from doing corruption. This is the one thing we can stop corruption. If we do not stop ourselves from doing corruption, then we will definitely fail to stop corruption.
Wow. What is a bold voice, Karishma. Thanks a lot. How beautifully presented the answer. She was explaining how beautifully, how marvelous the way. I must thank Karishma for joining this and raising her great, great voice. I love you, Karishma, my dearest sister from India. So now I would like to connect our dearest lecturer at Calcutta University for the question number 2, corruption and international development cooperation. What is the current view on that according to you? Why we have failed again and again to stop corruption? What do you think, our dearest international leader and our guide, Molloy Kumar Ghoshal from India?
Well, well, Dr. Karisma Nani has already, I believe, spoken well enough, and I do not have much to add. I would only like to emphasize that we need education in our country for everyone, so that everyone becomes aware of his or her rights. Only last night, our time, Indian Standard Time, I recalled the great incidents that took place in Texas of the United States of America in the year 1865, when the Union troops marched into that state, declaring the slaves to be free. In those days, please correct me, Mr. Jarrett, if I'm wrong, almost no slave could read and write, and many others could not too. But you see, this education which brought the United States of America to become a superpower today, because most Americans are well educated. And this is something that is lacking on the Asian subcontinent, including our country. And once we can build up a proper circle of educated people who educate others, then this will probably be, the corruption will probably be discouraged. Once I mentioned this on another occasion, a very good friend of mine, a German lawyer, once said to me something, and I'm just translating. He said, Molloy, if you know of a single person sitting in jail who is innocent but couldn't prove his innocence and has been convicted and is currently in jail, and if you can bring him out, or two persons, two people, and they in their turn can bring out two additional innocent persons in their turn. That means already each of them and a six individuals are free. And if these six individuals go and can free each of them another two, then the circle increases. So it is with educational circle. If we can educate others to educate the remaining one, then our country will become educated as a whole, the population, and corruption will be defeated at least to some extent. But unless that is done, I'm afraid we will be moving in a vicious circle, because each of us will be thinking perhaps that we will get our way out if we pay an additional sum, and let us do the same, we don't care about the rest. But that is the evil in a society, which corrupts a society as a whole. You agree with me, Mr. Jarrett?
Yeah, I think so. So, can we connect our dearest friend, Mr. Said, for the
Yes,
same question number 2, why we have failed again and again to stop corruption? What do you think?
well, for me, corruption entails international development cooperation as the world answers the new decade of the 19 with the ambition to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. United Nations Organization for Combating Crime has stressed that intensifying efforts to eradicate corruption and promote good governance are essential to fulfilling our global pledge. to leave no one behind. It prevents people from accessing the resource and the opportunity that should be valuable to them, as well as weakens trust in public institutions and weakens to social contract between them and the citizens of the world. Corruption spoils development programs to build a better world. That's all.
Okay. Thanks a lot. So this is the time to hear from America. So dearest international leader, Mr. Jarod, I would like to ask question number 3, corruption risks in the field of administrative services and access and control system. Who is in the charge of control supervision for the activities in public administration? Question number 3 to our dearest international leader and very important person from America, Mr. Jarod.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's kind of a difficult question for us, especially here in America, because of the types of corruptions that everybody's facing. Okay, can you repeat the question again one more time so I make sure I have a good understanding of it?
Yeah, sure. My question number 3 is corruption risks in the field of administrative services. So
Hmm.
we want to know actually who is in the charge of access and controlling system. Who has the power, this access and controlling system of corruption? Who is leading all this show? Behind of the corruption, who is there? Who is supervising? Who is controlling these activities? That our government knows we have corruption in the public administration, but why they are not stopping it? Why we are not getting the appropriate fair judgment, fair system in all our country? What do you think, our dearest international guest, Mr. Jarrett?
Okay, this one can be easily be explained. It's kind of like when you're looking at a pyramid. The country leaders are at the top, but who's over watching them? And for the administrative side, it's like rolling a ball down a hill, where it starts at the top and works its all the way down to the bottom. Everybody sees it, but nobody knows what to do with it, and they can't roll the ball back up the hill. So at the top, there is no control. Now, when the other gentleman said that in that we do have checks and balances where our three-tier government overwatches each other to make sure that one doesn't have the supreme power over the whole entire country, where like the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branches all meet together, and one makes the law, one writes the laws, one enforces the law, and one adjudicates the laws. If there's a break in that system somewhere, then there's where the corruption comes in. Because if there's a law that's unfair, or if somebody makes a judgment where you do have people being imprisoned because they don't have the ability to defend for themselves, then I'm kind of losing my words here. And yes, your English is better than mine today. But overall, it's a pyramid effect, and this is where we have a lot of the issues. That is, you want to get to the top of the pyramid, there's nowhere else for it to go. So all the people on the administrative side down below them all have to suffer repercussions because there is no check on the top. And for the public sector, for some reason my microphone keeps cutting in and out.
Yeah. Can we put our microphone off while one person is speaking? Yes. We are getting noise. Please put all of your microphones so that we can hear speaker's voice very clearly, kindly. Kindly put all of your microphone off. We are getting noise from someone's PC or mobile. Yeah. Still the noise. Uh, Let me put my microphone off.
Does well, does might be feedback, but I don't know what it is.
Can we please put all our microphone off? Only the speaker's microphone will be on kindly. When a person will speak, the speaker's microphone should be on and the other's microphone should be off. Can we all put our microphone off kindly?
The squeaking noise has stopped now.
Okay. So, Mr. Jarrod, do you like to add on this point? Do you like to add something on the question number 3?
Well, that was pretty much all. It's that. No, that was it. I hope I explained it, but I'm not sure if I got all your points you were asking for on that one.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, can I connect, dearest leader Karishma Moni, please put your microphone on for the question number 3. That is, please listen, I'm explaining again the question number 3. That we want to actually know who is in charge, who is controlling corruption system, and who is supervising this corruption. As you know, government has all the information that public administration has got corruption. Then why it is still going on? Karishma Moni.
Monira, if I may say, the person who is in charge of the government activities or in any sector he is sitting or having a government job, we all must be knowing that government procedures actually takes a long time. Okay, but people, those who want their work to be completed as soon as it is possible, so they try to bribe such officers and try to complete their work as soon as possible. Like if a government procedure of a house takes 3 months, then people will try to complete it in 1 month. Okay, and they will try to bribe such officers and make their work complete as soon as possible. Okay, so this is one of the reason of increasing corruption. Okay, and secondly, the government persons are not getting well paid off their salaries. Always the government salaries are very low at the starting and higher at the end. But those people do not have such patience to wait for their increment of the salary. They are not working honestly, and in order to get more and more, in order to not get paid off well in the beginning, they try to do corruptions and make the work easy for the people, and they try to bribe and they get bribes, and this is the way the nepotism has been increasing, the corruption has been increasing. These are the main reasons I found in such sectors.
Okay, thanks a lot. Molek Kumar Ghosh from India, can you please explain in your point of view what is the actually who is running this show, corruption in administrative job in public administration? We know very well corruption is there. We want to know who is accessing the power of corruption, who is in charge of the controlling system, and who is supervising all of this corruption. What do you say?
I believe this can be answered in 2 lines only. We are, or 2 words, because, as I already said, unless we offer bribes, unless we bribe the people who accept the bribes, there could not be acceptance of bribery. And that is what it is. We are to be blamed. We the people. Like it is in the Declaration of the Independence of the American Independence Declaration, we the people of the United States, and in the Charter of the United Nations, we the peoples in plural. So it is. We the people of our countries who are running the show, because we try to find always an easy way out. And again, reference to the New Testament of the Holy Bible, Jesus Christ said, the way that is wide and easy that leads to destruction, but the way that is narrow and hard that leads to life, and that it is also for a country and a system. We want to choose the light way, easy way. That's how we are corrupting our system as a whole. At least that is my opinion. Thank you.
Okay. Said from Morocco. Uh, okay. Dudik, you have set up. Okay. Thanks. Dudik, sorry,
This time, I
Said, I am
apologize.
coming to you just after Dudik. Dudik, can you hear? My
Yes,
voice
I'm
is
here.
clear.
So I should have
Okay.
But I can see you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, we can see you. I want to ask you one question, that Dudik, who is in the charge of power, that who is accessing corruption, who is in charge of this public administrative corruption, and who is maintaining and running the show of corruption? What do you think, Georgia Dudik from Europe, Serbia?
I believe money. money is and connection in collegial deal. I don't know, like policeman save another policeman, and lawyer save another lawyer, and this is biggest problem. This is not collegial. This is a lie. Or you have really faith and скажи закон. And скажи закон. Закон. Or you have law, or you have this is my colleague, this is my friend, and I don't anything touch. My colleague is take the money, and I don't do this anything. This is my friend. This is problem big. Some people love the money, and another people is good, but have like a friend, and this is not law. This is not the law. Few policemen, don't worry. This is not you have job. Don't worry. This is your friend or don't your friend. You have uniform and you must do it your job. And if you a lawyer or if you diplomatic, you have your job and you have your responsibility. Responsibility. You have your responsibility, and this is problem. Some people, when have power, don't have responsibility. If you have power, you must have first responsibility, and another thing you can have power. This is a big problem. Some people who have power and love money and make to the card, and this is my friend, and don't arrest me, and I can make money. That is okay. We have a big problem and mind the people. We have problem in in hard people don't don't take two things. Everything is one. Don't take you have a job. If you on the job, you have just the job. You don't mind. You have a law. This job for this thing. This is have consequence, or you have or you have reward for another thing. But not some people when talk and live and working and working together. This is my friend. My friend killed somebody. Never mind. This is my friend. This is really problem or old steps, and I think this is problem. Must have if you have if you are have some power, you must if you have some power who is a plus power or the usual man, you must have a plus responsibility for the usual man. If the something usual man have 1 years to jail, you must if you have power, you must go to 2 years in the jail. A property power, you must have the responsibility. I think this is a really good problem. If you have a consequence